full name is Uwuoruya, Osabuohien Clifford. Yeah, it's a mouthful. I'm full-time academic. I'm doing my doctorate in sociology, and then also lecture part-time at Nigerian University. And then, as a side hustle, I make jollof rice on the weekends. So I grew up in this little city in Nigeria. It's called Benin City. So many people say I don't sound Nigerian because you probably meet most of the major tribes in Nigeria, like the Igbos, the Yorubas. So you don't meet a lot of Benin people, and because we're very small, we have our king. So they call us the ancient city anyway, though. So I'm from Benin City, Nigeria. Come from a family of 5: my dad, my mom, and 3 boys. Yeah, my mom is late now. She passed away in 2013. So it's my dad and my brothers and myself, and then my dad just remarried. But yeah, man, it's pretty great family growing up. Yeah, nice times. Not like financially big, buoyant, but a lot of love, man. A lot of love. I grew up with a lot of love, and yeah, man, I just built it to me going forward in life. Primary school was a bit more difficult for us because my dad lost his job sometime in 1992, 93 if I'm not mistaken. So he had to leave the country to hustle, pretty much like me leaving the country now. But then he had a family. So it was mainly my mom, and I remember for like the first 6-7 years of my life. So she was a nurse then, so she had to like fend for all 3 kids. Though my dad was still supporting from outside, but I mean, she had to be like dad and mom for that period. So I think primary school was a bit difficult then, just with regards to just me, my mom, and my brothers, and I had an uncle stay with us too, just surviving through. So there were hardships, but I think there was a lot of love in the family, and I think that kept us going. High school, I got into a federal school, which is because tuition is very cheap in Nigeria, because we don't have bursaries, but we have like very cheap schools. So I got to the federal school, also with my brother, so that's eased the pressure of paying fees for my parents. Though I did eventually leave it when we moved back to Benin City. But yeah, man, there was a point in high school, just to be real with you guys, where finances are not great in the family, because it's just the economy is bad, man. So my dad had a lot of tough times with different jobs. So he had this one job where he hadn't received a salary in like a year plus. So we started a poultry, or my dad started a poultry at the back of our house, and we had like 200 chickens. And so, like, I would literally get back from high school every day and then go work in the poultry, pick the eggs, make crates, sell the eggs. Every Saturday, shovel the pool, But it's also the whole family were doing it, and I was getting I literally said like I was getting wages, because then I was getting my pocket money from doing this work, and it was also paying my fees. So that was cool, It was tough, because not many people in my class had to do things like that. But man, I think it also helped us as a family, because we all did it together, we all missioned together, and I did that all the way into my university actually. It was only I think in the second year of my university that we're a bit in a more stable position not to have to do that anymore. Yeah, no, couple. I think my main role models would be my parents. I think for my mom, and like just saying how hard she worked, as a nurse, that really inspired me to work hard. And then my dad also, man, like he faced a lot of hardships, man, like so many businesses and all, but just the fact that he kept going on, like he would fall down, he would get back up again. And they also encouraged me to study, I used to love to read a lot. One of my main influences in my life, even in me keeping an afro, is this Nigerian Nobel laureate. He's the first African to get the Nobel Prize for literature. His name is Wole Soyinka. Brilliant man. I remember I used to read his poems when I was like 10, and I used to really be inspired by this guy. And then eventually found out that he also got his doctorate, became a professor, and I was like, since I was young, I was like, I really want to be like that guy. I literally had a picture of him in my room for years. So I think that was one of my major influences. There was Chinua Achebe, also because I've always been in arts and I love literature. So those guys really inspired me. So not much, like I didn't have like uncles that were architects and lawyers and doctors. I think it was mainly me just looking to these other bigger people and being like, man, I wanna make an impact like them. and then also looking at my parents and just their hard work and being like, man, I wanna reward them, you know, like I wanna one day bless them. But for me to do that, I gotta like, work. I think it was just a blessing, man, because if I look at, I think I lost the plot for a while when I did my first 4 years of varsity in Nigeria. I think my last 2 years of varsity in Nigeria, I wasn't inspired anymore. I got caught up in the wrong crowd and yeah, crime and all that. So yeah, so I think I gave up on all those hopes. And then, man, my dad business was going well then, and then he asked my two older brothers, and he said if they would like to go further their studies outside the country. And then the oldest one said nah, he didn't want to go. And then the other one, my brother Fred, is in South Africa now. He said sure. And then I was like, I want to go. I mean, I know you didn't offer it to me, but if this guy doesn't want to go, I'll take it, you know. And then like, okay, sure. So, but at that point in time, man, I just knew that, okay, this is a chance now, because I felt like I messed up my first 4 years in university, so it was like, okay, now it's time to actually like redefine myself and do something. So that's why I ended up here doing an honors degree in 2015, which my dad sponsored. And then even that year, if I can add, you know, I met this one professor who made a big influence in my life. His name is Professor Peter Cunningham. So I remember in our honors year, I was also not still serious about life, you know, getting into trouble at university and all that. And then he called me to his office one day and he told me, look, man, you got potential. You can make something of yourself. But if you're following the crowd, if you're following this lifestyle that you think it's not going to take you anywhere, you're going to have to get serious about your studies, or at some point in time you're probably going to go back home, and then what have you achieved? So I remember I went back and I really sat down and I thought about like just the seriousness of that, and then I then worked really hard in my honors and then applied for a master's. And then when I got accepted for a master's program, then I thought, yo, there's something, yeah. A couple, so I think mainly it's not easy being a foreigner in South Africa. I mean, they are good, they are perks. I've like great support from my department in terms of the academics in it. I have a great church family, but it's not been without me also facing like one or two almost xenophobic attacks. It was not physical but mental, you know. I used to work at this one company, and I used to sell books. This was back in 2016 when I was doing my master's, and I used to sell books out of a container at Missionville campus. And then students would walk past, black students, to be honest with you, and they were saying also certain things, you know, about me, and they would laugh. And so one day I had South African in the container with me, and then the students came again as usual and they said certain things, and then they went, and then the lady, South African lady behind me was like, yo man, like I'm gonna tell you what they said. They said pretty much, I've forgotten now, but almost like, do you have a toilet in there, or is that a toilet, you know, that you're selling out of? You know, so that was pretty messed up. And then I've also had like, you know, even like people laugh at my accent, you know, like white South Africans also, you know, like I was lecturing last year, and then some students wanted to write a petition to have me removed as a lecturer, and their reason was because of my accent. Like literally, that was their reason. They were like, and then so when I heard it, I was like, I went to the department and then I told the lecturers, they're like, this is what's happening. And then, but the department was very supportive of me, and they were like, we would not stand for any xenophobic attack on our lecturer, because you can't tell us he's not teaching the thing, he's not doing his work correctly. You're just in his accent, which makes no sense, because we're in a university where we have Italians and Germans, and everybody comes with their own accent, you know, because I spent 22 years in Nigeria before I came here. So I have had to deal with little things like that. I've had to deal with racism also. Yeah, there has been challenges, you know. You at every point in time you get reminded that you're a foreigner. Yeah. Mainly, first of all, even getting accepted for the PhD program was very massive in itself. I praise the Lord for that. So in my doctorate, I'm doing a study on a musician. His name is Fela Kuti, and I'm intellectualizing him. So I think mainly me having to do this whole study of having to write up a new theory of intellectuals hasn't been easy. And but then I sit up in my room or in the library and I write all these things, and I never know what impact they would have. But then I remember last year a couple of achievements has been me eventually getting in contact with the Fela Kuti family, and then the Fela Kuti estate like accepting my study, looking at my proposal and saying, actually we with you, and being able to speak with Femi Kuti. I eventually got in touch with the manager who set up a phone call, and Femi Kuti, we're going to meet sometime this year and then sit and then do an interview for my study. Also Sheon Kuti. So I think that was just awesome, like being accepted by the Fela Kuti family, and then also to be able to use Fela Kuti's music in my study, I had to go get licensing from Sony Music, who owns the distribution rights to Fela Kuti's music worldwide. So I had to get licensing from Sony Music. So, but God just opened doors, man. Like the lawyer of the Fela Kuti estate connected me with the publishing manager of David Gresham's music publishing, which owned the South African publishing rights to Fela Kuti's music. So I contacted her, and then she took my letter, or she sent my letter to Sony Music and BMG because they affiliated, and then Sony Music contacted her about that I have full rights to use Fela Kuti's music at no charge, so just as long as I give them credit like I'm doing now. So she got back to me and they said, sent me a letter with the go ahead. And then I took that to university, and they were very impressed in the university. So that was major. And then also like I've gotten invites to share about my research at research workshops. Most recently at University of Cape Town, November last year there was a workshop on vernacular archives, and then I got to share about my research, and even got like very, very amazing responses. So it's been good, and what's amazing is I've not gone deep into research yet. I'm still like in the like basic stages. I haven't done my interviews, I haven't started analyzing the music, but it's just I'm looking at the doors that are opening. So it gives me courage, that man, I want to do this thing, I want to finish it, and then more doors can open. So these are just some of the achievements so far. And then the university gave me full PhD candidature this year, which is awesome because now I'm no longer a PhD student, I'm now a PhD candidate. So just basically words though, but it just shows that the university now I'm moving more and more away from student side, more to academia side of things. Oh, for sure, because I'm gonna be honest, the truth of the matter is there are different kind of Nigerians in South Africa. They are the ones who, like myself, who are pursuing academia, who are legitimate, and then they are the ones who push drugs and do all sort of crimes. And so we meet, But sometimes I will go to Central, which a lot of Nigerians are. But you see, man, there's because whenever we go there, I don't even say I'm a student, because there's already that hate that you're a student, so you have legal papers, and then that already just creates discord. And I've been at those places where fights have broke out, so I eventually had to stop. Like I said, I'm no longer going to that part of the town, just because like we just in different sides of lives, and like this, like I got love for them, like a fellow Nigerian, but you don't receive it, yeah. And so eventually you just gotta stop relating, or just limit your relation. So to be honest with you, as much as we're all countrymen, I've had fellow Nigerian countrymen rip me off in South Africa, and so yeah, it's the way it is. So I think it all starts because when I got admission for my doctorate, I didn't get any bursary. I applied for a couple of bursaries, but there's only a limited ones I can apply for, being Nigerian in South Africa. Yeah, I didn't qualify for a lot of bursaries, and then the one that did apply for I didn't get, so I had to pay my tuition by myself. My first 2 years of studying, it was tough, but then I had, like I said, I had a lecturing contract, so those used to help. But then towards the end of last year, I was trying to renew my visa and just had a couple of issues, so still in the process of renewing it now, but then that means that until it is renewed, I can't lecture. So realizing now that, I don't have a source of income, and there's a new year which comes with bills, medical aid, rent, tuition also. I'm gonna have to find a way to make some funds, because my savings could only take me so far. So I was chatting with a couple of friends, and then my girlfriend and then my other friend Victor were saying, man, why don't you, like, you cook such good stews and jollof, why don't you like do it as a business, you know? So I thought about it, but not too much. But then there was a food stall that came up at church. We had a music evening where they had food stalls, and then I applied to have a food stall there. And then so I cooked that day just to test it and see what the reception would be like, you know. And then I had this long queue that day, and then like, yeah, my food ran out in like 30 minutes, and I had to disappoint the rest of the people. Actually, like, I ran out of chicken. I had to start selling just the rice itself, and people were still buying until I had nothing left in my pot. So when I looked at the reception that day, I was like, yo, this actually could work, you know. And so I started like putting out messages, asking people, what would you think if I do this on the weekend? Would you buy it? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I will. And so yeah, man, this year 2020, beginning of the year, I had to finish up a chapter, and then afterwards I did it one weekend. I put out an ad and told people I'll be cooking, took orders, cooked that one weekend. And then I looked at the profit, and I'm like, it's not a lot, but it's actually something, you know. It's actually like can go a long way in the long run. And so that's how it all started, man. It started from that one weekend doing it, tried it out the next weekend, other weekend after that, and then I just thought, actually, even when I start lecturing again, I don't want to stop doing this, because it's actually something that can be big, you know. So yeah, man, set up a Facebook and Instagram page called the Dr. Jollof, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much how the business came about. It wasn't, I don't think, I didn't go to culinary school, I'm not a chef, but I've always cooked my whole life. Coming from a house of just 3 boys and no girl, each and every one of us had to learn how to cook, you know. So my mom taught us how to cook a long time ago. So I've always, and also living by myself for almost 10 years now, I've had to learn how to cook and all that. So I think, yeah, when I eventually started doing it, yeah, I think just came naturally, you know. Yeah, so my tuition alone is 28,000 rand. So I'd like to raise that. And then also, like, I think on an average, I'm looking to raise almost like 40,000 or more, because even aside rent, like my studies is going to require money, because I'm going to have to travel to do interviews and to access libraries for archives and to get sources. So all that costs money, and so I'm looking to I think my goal is to, if I can make at least 2,000 in a weekend, and that's only going to come about if I'm getting an average of 80 orders in a week. At the moment, I'm just only averaging 25, so there's still a lot more that can be done. But yeah, I think the key is the more people that support the business, the better chance of making more income, and the better chance of making these targets. At the moment, they're not feasible, but I feel like it can be done if I get more people to partner with me in this. It's kind of like your 50 rand is going towards me completing my studies, kind of a thing. Yeah, so I'm always going to be in academia. So my main dream is to one day become a professor of sociology, and specifically in music, which is where my studies is based. But then also in terms of career path, I want to be a lecturer. I want to be a full-time lecturer. Pretty much want to do that for the rest of my life. I've lectured now for 2 years, and I love it. I love the process of like giving knowledge to the younger generation. I mean, I'm still young myself, but just passing on knowledge, it's something I like. I love being in the classroom with students. I love that whole process, and so I want to do that for the rest of my life. But mainly, I want to make a big impact in terms of academia, like marrying academia with African music. There hasn't been a lot of academic influences in African music, and I think it's such a big lack. That we need more academics who are venturing into like writing theses, writing articles, writing books on African music. Because if you look at European music, like pop music and all that, there's so much literature on there, but you look at African music, it's not a lot. And then just little things like the Grammys recently, Africans were nominated under the world music category, which makes no sense because we have a ton of genres in Africa. So there should be Nigerian Afrobeat category, there should be sorry man, South African guys, my key is terrible. But there should be a category for that because then that diversifies it. But I think the reason why we don't have that is we don't have a lot of academic representation of African music in like the Grammys committees and things like that. So those are the places I want to get into in the long run, you know, but I need to have a portfolio to do that. So it means a lot of writing, a lot of articles and books. So that's my plan and my goal. Yeah. I think the main thing like I really want to do is encourage youths that you can be more than your context, you know. So it's like growing up in Benin City and those State, not many people would aspire for the kind of things I'm aspiring for, just maybe because it doesn't make sense, because you don't see yourself getting there. But I'm trying to show people that, I mean, I'm putting in all this work, and if I have to sell jollof rice to achieve that goal, I'll do it. But the point is, we must not limit ourselves to the fact that we grew up in this very poor neighborhood, and so we can't be like those people we see on TV. Actually, you can. And so, because the problem now is majority of the people I grew up with, in all honesty, and majority of my friends that I grew up with, have all just resorted to crime, you know, and drugs and all that, because it's what you see, you know, it's what you saw your uncles doing. But almost like I want to have my little cousin say, but you know, we have that one cousin who became a doctor, you know, so if Boyan could do it, then maybe I can do it. But not just even that, I really want to go back there and I really want to have like workshops and things just to speak with people I grew up in and be like, look man, I grew up here with you, you know, and so like, take your studies seriously, do what you gotta do, you know. Many people will say, why is a PhD student selling rice, you know, but it's what I gotta do to be able to get that goal, you know. And I can easily say, life is difficult, I don't have a bursary, you know, life is hard, or I can do something about it. And that's really what I want to inspire people to do, that, man, you gotta chase your goals, man, and you gotta have big goals too. Don't limit yourself to little things, man. Think big things, be architects, you know. Even if you don't see anybody in your current neighborhood that are that, you yourself, that little one boy, you can do it. I mean, many times in my life back in Nigeria, we had to study with candles, you know, because we don't have electricity, but we'll light up our candle and we'll study the whole night. But then I had to do that to be able to get a good enough result to be able to come to South Africa to study, and I have to also sell jollof rice to be able to complete a doctorate that can get me to the next goal. So it's like, you got to work, you know, and that's what I want to inspire people. Don't take the shortcut, don't take the crime, don't take pushing drugs, don't take cyber crime, don't, you know, it's like, it seems like an easy call, but there's more to life, man, and because that's the only way we can change the country. It starts from the little things, you know, and then it spills into a bigger thing. So almost like shifting the narrative. I know a lot of people are already doing it, but that's kind of the little place I want to come in, but majorly it's going to be through music. So I also want to inspire youth through music, and also like mine out talents from the South Africa to be the locations, Nigeria to just be everywhere, you know. It's like, just one final thing, I remember, because I learned how to play the guitar myself when I was 25 is when I learned how to play the guitar. But then I realized that I would have loved as a kid to be able to play it, but there was no opportunity to be able to play. And so just that thing of, if I can create an avenue where even at a young age we teaching kids musical instruments, because I always say Beethoven and these popular musicians we know now would never be who they are if they didn't have the opportunity to learn music. So a lot of youths actually have the potential but no opportunity. So let's create an opportunity and let's change the mindset. So yeah, there's so many things I want to do, but man, taking it one day at a time. Anybody who sees this, you know, and you're out there, please support the business. You've seen the goal behind it, and the dream behind it is for me to be able to achieve my doctorate that can get me somewhere bigger. And so, man, starts with getting one plate 50 rand, or getting 2 plates 100 rand, but like every 50 rand, every 100 rand goes into something bigger. So you can support the business. You can follow me on Instagram, it's Dr. Jallof, and you can also find me on Facebook, also Dr. Jallof. And yeah, you can also get my link from the media company. Yeah, and please guys, just yeah man, let's do this together. I think it's about time we link hands with one another and support black business. You know, raise up one another by buying one plate of Jollof.